This is exactly, David, this is exactly where I said that it looked like he was sitting yesterday. Hello, we were just talking about you, you sneaky cat. And I got a little bit of a fright because it looks like young Hosana. He popped his head out of the long grass, and we've already driven past here. He was not here. I think he was hiding away from those hyenas, like I said, because they came charging out of this area. Hey, big boy, are you happy now that you haven't got anybody chasing after you? And it's so funny because I said to David, David, when I got back from my walk, I went into final control and I was watching. And I said, it looked like he was sitting on a bit of a sandy patch, like these termite mounds. And we drove past and said, like, just exactly like this. And now he's come out again. Thank you, boy. That's very kind of you. I'm going to quickly just, we'll call it in, though, in a moment, because I know that the other guards will be looking for a leopard too. But we'll just have a little look first. Hello, boy. You can see all that lovely dew on the grass as well. That must be nice and cool and comforting. And where are you going now? And I wonder where they're drinking water as well. Maybe there's a couple, I don't know this property too, I left very well. So there could be a couple of little, oh no, what's he got? Something is in the grass, maybe a tortoise. Yes, I'm pretty sure it's a tortoise. But you've got a full belly, you don't need it. But that's not going to stop his natural instinct. Let's see. Well, maybe it's not a tortoise, maybe it's something else. It seems to be moving quickly. Come on, pick it up, show us what you've got. Still just keeping an eye out. You can see that he's a little bit hesitant every now and then, watching over his shoulder. No, it's definitely a tortoise. I just saw him turn it over. And now he's trying to bite it. No, bored. Hosana, that's not very nice. Turn it back over. That poor tortoise, I'm sure it will be able to make an escape and make a getaway. Now he's sitting inside a termite. He's a funny boy. He's actually got his legs inside the termite mound now. There's a little cavity that's been dug out, so maybe maybe it was an aardvark that was digging there last night. Maybe it was Hosana who's just been playing around, but his leg is inside the hole. Look, there you go. You can see. Are you going to go in? No, you're going to lay across it. And he's really, really coming on with his leopard poses now, isn't he, David? Hello, beautiful boy. Now, if you have just started watching us, and you're unsure as to who this leopard is and who Hosana is, so this is Hosana, and he is the son of the queen of this area. Her name is Karula, and she also has a daughter, a young daughter, the same age as Hosana, 11 months old. They're almost a year old now. And her name is Xongile. So they're somewhere around here. I thought I could hear some grinding, but I'm going to call the sighting in very quickly. Mobiles have just located young Madora Ingwe. It's Hosana. We're just on Gari Main, west of Weaver's Nest is one unlock. Now, what we're going to have to do, though, is I need to just pull off the road slightly because there's a car coming in front of us, a civilian car, and I don't want this vehicle to frighten. So we'll just pull off just to the side of Hosana. Sometimes these normal cars can give them a little bit of a fright. There we go, they're just sneaking past us now. There we go. See him watching the car go past. He's not sure what that silver vehicle is. We're on the main road, remember. But we're going to sit here a little bit longer with Hosana and see what he gets up to. I'm going to have to jump into the radio now. But we're going to go back across to Byron, who is at a very small pan. Now, the tail that we're looking at and the hindquarters that we're staring at is not that of Hosana. Young Xongile was sitting, sunning herself on the termite mound just behind where we saw Hosana. But you can see that Xongile has now climbed up a tree because the hyenas that I was telling you about, that David and I were chasing after, came back. They came bounding through the bushes. And there she goes. She's going up higher now. And Hosana sort of slunk away back towards the termite mound where Xongile came from. And Xongile decided that she's not having any of this. She's going to go up the tree. She's a little bit nervous of them. And that's a very clever move on Xongile's part. Because like I said, these leopards are young. They can hiss and growl all they like at a hyena. The hyena is going to laugh at them and snatch them up. They're not quite up there where Karula would be able to fend off of a hyena and sort of deter them. But these hyenas must be hanging around. They must have a kill somewhere around here, whether it's in a tree or a little bit of has dropped on the ground, or you never know. You know what Hosana and there we go. There's the hyena at the base of the tree, just walking behind her. Now, we are on the cut line at the moment. There are a lot of vehicles here. We won't be able to stay for too long. We're going to try and stay for as long as we can. But you can see Hosana, I don't know where Hosana is. He's hiding away now, but Xongile is definitely keeping a close eye. David, I'm going to go forward a little bit because I think I might be able to give you a slightly better view. Sorry, David, I want to turn so we can get the aerial out of the way. There we go. Now, it's very, very difficult as she's sitting up in this tree to try and get a good view. Now, I can see movement. It looks like the hyenas might be coming back again. David, where I'm looking is basically, you see, straight through this gap. If you go straight down there, I think they're going to come back this side again. So if you just keep watching that side, that's where the hyenas are coming out. The kill must be somewhere around there. But it's notorious for hyenas to follow leopards around. I can't see any more movement now, but they were there. They're definitely around there. And well, following a young leopard cub around, or these two young leopard cubs around, I don't think would be a bad idea, especially if Mom had killed something for them and stashed it. Like I said, they get a bit clumsy with the carcasses still, and the chances of these hyenas scoring a meal because Hosana or Xongile dropped the carcass to the ground, or maybe something like the intestines fell out, they would happily gobble up that meal. But typically, you see them following the adults around. And if Karula is here, she would not be very happy with this situation. She probably would have maybe tried to even chase some of the hyenas away, just because she's got her cubs here, of course. Otherwise, leopards don't really mind hyenas too much. I've seen a number of occasions where big male leopards have been seen quite happily on the other end of the carcass, or their kill that they'd made, sharing it with hyenas. Sometimes, if you can't win, well, you just wait and you let the other animal join you. And it always amazes me how two predators like that, two apex predators, can come together and quite happily feed on a carcass with one another. But that's something special to see. It is not a very common sight. You've got to be at the right place at the right time. And I suppose had that hyena pestered that leopard for long enough that it felt the need that it needed to share its kill with everybody else. But this is so cool. I'm so happy we managed to find this. And I'm so happy that Xongile popped out too, because it's been a long time since we've seen the two of them together. And I'm sure Hosana's safe. I wouldn't worry about him. He's a big boy now. He's learning the ropes. And I think he's just ducked behind a termite mound. It's quite difficult for us to see, unfortunately. But basically, he's just sitting just on the other side over there. But like I said, we're on a main road. There's lots of people, not even just coming to view the sighting, lots of people coming up and down. Of course, it can be quite busy. So I don't know if we're going to be able to stay here for too much longer. I think we'll only be able to stay here for a couple more minutes. And hopefully Hosana makes a return and comes back to his favorite termite mound. And I wonder what happened to our tortoise, David. Do you think it turned itself back over? I also hope so. I also hope that the tortoise managed to recover after Hosana decided to throw it around a few times. But this is so cool. She's still watching carefully, so there's obviously something going on in the distance. keeping a close eye. And this is the thing about winter, is that something could be happening a couple of feet away from you, but the grass is so long, the trees are so dense at this time of the year that it's almost impossible. I mean, look at what happened with Hosana and the tortoise. We knew he was after something, and it was right in front of us. It was only probably about 4 foot away, but we couldn't see him because he was deciding to play in the long grass. You can listen, you can hear the hyena. Don't know if you heard that, but it wasn't a whooping, it was that sort of laughing noise that the hyenas make. Just off into the distance, you can see where Xongile is looking. And they sound like they're getting a little bit excited. So I wonder if they've stumbled upon the scraps that Hosana was feasting upon yesterday. But this is amazing. And it's good to see, though, that these leopards have learnt that hyenas are not fun and games to hang around and that you need to be cautious of them. So that's really cool. I don't know why cool seems to be my word today. I don't know. I need to get out of that. Now, Linda, you're actually commenting and you're wondering if a hyena would be able to crack open the tortoise shell. Oh, there's the tortoise, David. Do you see it in the grass? Okay, so you see there's that very small shrub under this big bush willow? Yep. If you go... There we go. If you zoom in, go... I'm just trying to look in the... Okay, stop. Go a little bit to the right. It's in there. I can see it with my eyes. I now can't see it on the screen, but the little... Okay, zoom in... There we go. Well done, David. There's the tortoise. Now, Linda, so I'm very thankful that this tortoise has managed to turn itself around again. And, well, it's back on its way. But you were wondering if a hyena could crunch through that tortoise. Much easier than a leopard could. They've got exceptionally strong jaws. They've got the second strongest jaws, a crocodile being number 1 here in Africa. And that would be no problem. The hyenas are actually just back there. Where the tortoise is, David, if you go up and into the bushes in the far distance, you might be able to see them moving around. But hyenas are specialists, feeders, not just scavengers, but they're hunters as well. And they are really, really good. They're at the back there. It's just very thick, I think, unfortunately. We won't maybe get a view of them. And they're able to crunch through the bone to get to the bone marrow, which is full of fat and is really, really good for an animal to feed on. Yeah, they're walking. They've seen 2 of them now. They might be coming back this way. We'll just stick it out a little bit and hopefully these hyenas come back around. But they'd gobble up that tortoise, and I'm sure that that's what they've been doing at this time of the year as well, is with the abundance of reptiles that have been out and about, from the rock monitors to the water monitors to the Speaks hinged tortoise to the leopard tortoise, you name it, even the terrapins. I don't think a hyena would turn down a meal if it came across one. They'd have to be exceptionally full to say no to food. They're sort of always gobbling things down. I can hear them giggling again. There must be quite a few of them here. I've at least seen 4. But they seem to be split up. They're sort of on the left where Xongile is, and then I can hear that sort of laughing, that sort of nervous laugh that they do, coming from the right. Can you hear that, David? That's me making. It's quite far away. You might just be able to hear it. No, now it's stopped. They don't do it for very long. It's just every now and then. But Xongile is keeping a close eye. And I'm looking for Hosana, but I can't see him. I think he might be sitting on the other side of the big termite mound. I think there's a couple of little ridges that he's probably trying to blend into and keep himself nice and low. But so that he can also just keep an eye out on those naughty hyenas and make sure that they don't get up to no good. Right, but I think we're going to have to say goodbye now. There are lots and lots of vehicles who are trying to come in and have a look, of course, at the royal family, and can you blame them? But what an exceptional sighting it has been this morning.